them all. Reservation blues. Raise my moccasins for those white man shoes.
There's a word they call us now Native Americans, which is a generic term I never liked. We are older than America, so how can we be native than something we are older than?
So yes, I am Native American. I'm indigenous. I'm Aboriginal. I'm sick and tired of all the political correct crap. You just call me Caucasically impaired. Is that better? Does that work?
And we're Eastern tribes. Iroquois Confederacy is the Oneidas, Onondagas, Cayugas, Tuscarora, Mohawk, and Senecas.
My Indian name is Wambli Ohitika. I know, it sounds like my dad just looked into a bowl of alphabet soup.
We shall call him.
Our bylaws of the Iroquois Confederacy is what Franklin and Jefferson lifted to use what they call democracy here. So the idea of democracy, that's not imported, that's indigenous, and that came from us.
When I was in college, I took a Native American Studies class, and I was the only Native American in the class, and I got a C.
We have ancient traditions that we have and still use them, and that's what keeps us strong. But at the same time, we're also modern, contemporary people.
Yeah, that's right. Jewish father, Navajo son. That makes me a bargain hunter-gatherer.
I used to hear when I started, gee, I never heard of a funny Indian before. And the woman that said it, I thought, she doesn't know better. And it's also very funny, but also real sad at the same time.
A lot of Indians, we don't have a lot of body hair. I'm mixed blood, so I got some, it's like patchy, but it's, can't grow a beard or nothing, man. I tried to grow a goatee once, it just looked like a smiling nutsack.
So you get around Indian people, there's always laughter. Even in times of stress, sorrow, sadness, there's always that undercurrent of humor. And something spiritual, there's always something funny about it because joviality, lightness, laughter. They say laughter is the language of God.
Oh, my great-great-grandmother was the daughter of a Yaqui chief, Standing Deer. My great-great-grandfather was the son of Zapotec leader, Benito Juarez. And because of that mixture of cultures, that intermingling of indigenous bloodlines, I stand here tonight looking like Jackie Chan.
Declaration of Independence, the phrase savage Indian is written in it like 3 or 4 different times. And nobody's ever changed it or addressed it or anything. And so we get people to laugh with us instead of at us. And but we're fighting hundreds of years of stereotypes just by the very act that we're up here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Charlie Hill!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see Indian faces in the crowd. I won't have to explain the jokes tonight. That's nice. Glad you all came out, and the rest of you, nice to be here. And what else we got here? 1 little, 2 little, 3 little whiteys, 4 little, 5 little, 6. Does that piss you off too? Come on, white people. This land is my land. This land ain't your land. Get the hell off of my land. Go find your own land. See, y'all laughed. The Latinos laughed. The black people, y'all, the rest of you look like them wooden white people in my front yard. See, I don't have to be here. I can make a lot more money tonight at home going B27, I-19. We're doing pretty good with our casinos, folks. Someday we're going to buy our land back. From the Japanese. My name is Charlie Hill. Hill, that's the family name. Used to be Mountain, but I shortened it. You know, showbiz, you get that little edge. I had a heckler last time I did a show. I'm on stage, and he goes, I don't want to hear that crap, Injun. I'm an American. Why don't you go back where you came from? So I camped in his backyard. Thank you, thank you. you. And I just want to say, white folks, what we're doing up here tonight, we're not white bashing. This is just a little spiritual spanking you should have got 400 years ago. And we're ready to get this war party started, as we all say. He's mixed different tribes, and you get interesting combinations. Like I know a Mohawk married a Huron, their kids are morons, you know. I know a Comanche that married a Pequot, and they're kumquats, those are their kids. Then I met someone who was a Chickasaw, Potawatomi, and Paiute, and he got his enrollment card, chicken pot pie. Yeah. He's from Alberta, he's a Cree. Behind every tree there's a Cree. And I've worked on him on television shows up there. He's been in a lot of shows, and he's really shaking and moving up there, up in the north here, and we're lucky and happy to have him here tonight. Let's welcome, please, Howie Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Howie Miller!
I remember I was doing an interview in Canada. It was a radio interview, and the lady asked me specifically, she goes, well, Howie, what do you prefer to be called? Do you prefer to be called Indigenous or First Nations or Aboriginal or Native American? And I said, actually, I prefer it if you call me Howie. And, you know, but she was taken aback and she started apologizing right away. But it's that sense of people's borderline walk to where they think they're racist, but they're not, or if they're ignorant and they don't know it. Racism to me is a joke. And if we're not laughing at it, then it's something serious. If you can't laugh at racism, well, then there's a problem there. So that's where I like to be sort of on this threshold of making people laugh at racism. Let's get it out of there, because it is a joke to begin with.
Oh, look at all the Indians. Woo! Right on! I am from Canada. I flew down. This is my first time in LA. This is great. It's so nice to be here. I flew down. I'm looking out the plane. And I'm looking at all the native workers. I'm like, wow, the natives are working down here everywhere. They're running the airports. Then I'm driving on the freeway, and I'm like, oh, they're selling fruit on the side. This is awesome. These natives down here rock. And then one comes up to me, hey, vatos. I'm like, oh my God, they sound different too. Back home, that really ticks me off. Being mistaken for the races, you know, like Chinese, Japanese, Hawaiian, Mexican, Spanish, Filipino, Scottish. You'd be surprised if I was wearing my kilt. They'd show the ladies a wee show. You might want to stand back a wee bit. It's a fairly big show. That's right, ladies. I'm hung like a buffalo. Oh, sorry. Tatanka. So yes, I am Native American. I'm Indigenous. I'm Aboriginal. I'm sick and tired of all the political correct crap. You just call me Caucasically impaired. Is that better? Does that work? Thank you. I don't mind being Native. I like the free shit, huh? That's right. Land, no taxes. Woo! Don't know if you white people know this, but here in LA, I get free cab rides. Yeah, well, they're cop cars, but they get you home. But congratulations on electing Barack Obama as your president. I think that's really awesome. As a Canadian, I'm not so scared anymore, hey? Holy Christ, that guy was scary you had before. But it shows change, and I think, why not? I mean, you've been in our land for so long. Why not elect the first Native American president? When's that gonna happen? You with me on that one? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. You know, all the Native people clapping, all the white people are just like, oh my God, that would be a bad choice, hey? Can you imagine that? The first day of business, they'd be like, okay, people, my first order of business, all you white people, you can go home now. No, I love what you've done with the place. Looks great. The boats are waiting. Last call. And I still feel bad for the people of California. Or sorry, California. What? Really? It sounds like he's having a dump, hey? Get down! If you're gonna elect an actor, why don't you elect an actor that's cool? You know, like somebody that you can understand at least, that speaks the language. I think Christopher Walken would have been a better president. I mean, he won't make any sense, but you'll understand him when he's not making any sense. Can you imagine that? He shows up, "Hey, everybody, thanks. I really appreciate being the president." Wow. It's crazy. The environment is out there. We gotta do something. My friend outside Jersey named McDonald, Scottish fellow, lived on a farm. A lot of animals, horses, chickens, cows, what have you. One day, this cow bit a man right in the ass. The man screamed out, "E-I-E-I-O!" Now I'm thinking, you know what? I like the other guy better. Ah! Nice sunny day out today. Thank you. I danced all night for that shit. You're welcome. You're welcome. My adopted mother, she's Scottish. That was a lot of fun growing up. I grew up with a bunch of white kids, so that was a lot of fun. We played regular games, you know, like tag, hide and seek, stuff like that. My personal favorite, Cowboys and Indians. Yeah, a lot of fun. All my friends are like, "Hey, Howard, you want to play Cowboys and Indians?" I'm like, "Indians with an S, like there's going to be more than me." Basically what this game consisted of was 30 white kids chasing my ass around the block. They'd all be on bikes, of course I wouldn't, because I'm a savage, right? You know? "Oh, me not know how to ride bike." I can sure steal them though, huh? They were so cute growing up though. I remember they thought that since I was native, I was in tune with Mother Nature somehow. So they'd always ask me stupid questions, you know? They'd be like, "Hey, Howie, can you tell what time it is by looking up at the sun?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's easy. Let's see. It's, wow, it's bright out. It's 3:14. I'm just sitting there, holy shit, he's awesome! But again, yes, my mom is Scottish, and I remember all Scottish people, they're huge Sean Connery fans, and I'm adopted, so this was kind of a fun trick. This happened about 10 years ago. I went to the payphone on Valentine's Day, phone her up, right? Ring, ring, ring. She's like, "Hello?" So my mom sounds like Mrs. Doubtfire, right? She's like, "Hello?" Like, "Yes, is this Mrs. Miller speaking?" "Yes." "Oh, this is Sean Connery. On behalf of Scotland and myself, I'd like to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. And I was wondering, what are you wearing right now?" You guys have been great. Have a wonderful night. Thank you very much.
Our next performer, you might know his work in the movie Smoke Signals. He wrote, composed the song John Wayne's Teeth. It's a big favorite for us. And writer, actor, and he's Colville and Rosebud on his dad's side. So let's welcome, please, Vaughn Eaglebear coming to the stage.
My dad's a Rosebud Sioux from South Dakota, and my mom's a Colville from Omak, Washington. I always got a kick out of my dad because my dad, he speaks the Lakota language, and he'd have them laughing in our language. And I always knew that laughter was really powerful to him and my relatives back there. But I've been singing at Powell's for years, and Sherman Alexie called me up and he said, I need you to make a song. I'm making a movie, and I need you to make a song. It's called John Wayne's Teeth. And I thought he was pulling my leg, and he goes, "No, man, for real, I want this song. It's going to be a part of the movie called Smoke Signals." And I said, "All right, I'll come up with something." I said, give me a week or two. And he says, "No, I need it tonight." The song goes, "Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, ho. John Wayne's teeth, John Wayne's teeth. Are they plastic? Are they steel? Ha ha, hey, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh." Eastern Washington University asked me to come sing that song at one of their Native entertainment nights. And on the schedule it said Vaughn Eaglebear, the guy that made John Wayne's Teeth, and stand-up comedian. And I told those people, I said, "I'm not a stand-up comedian. I've never even done that before." Then after that, everybody's coming up to me saying, "Man, you were pretty funny." And I wasn't even operating under the intention of being a stand-up comedian. And this is an eagle, this is a bear, and in our totems, I was told that they read the totem pole from the bottom to the top. Actually, the lowest man on the totem pole is the strongest one, you know? You know, at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, it always comes back to family for me. Yeah.
Hey-ya, hey-ya. Hey-ya-yo. Hey-ya-yo. Way-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya. Way-ya-yo. Way-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya. Way-ya, hey-ya-yo. Long black hair, greasy forehead too. Skinny chicken legs, but she knows how to make stew. Huckleberry lips, choke cherry eyes, skinny flat butt, fry bread thighs.
Way-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya, way-ya, hey-ya, hey. Way-ya, hey-ya, 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 way-ya, hey-ya, way-we-oh-ho. 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 Way-ya, hey-ya, 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 way-we-oh-ho. Who can take some fry bread, sprinkle it with sugar, cover it in honey and some huckleberry jam? The fry bread man can. The fry bread man can. The fry bread man can, 'cause he likes to eat his fry bread with potatoes and spam. I locked my coat hanger in the car. It's a good thing I got my keys. Back home on the reservation, I used to work as a waiter in a restaurant, greeting people at the front door, asking them if they had reservations. We had a really bad wildfire this past summer on the res, and it burned down like 20 houses and 250 broken down cars. But we managed to save all the beer coolers. 3 Indians walked out of a bar sober. It could happen. A salad bar. Indian people call laughing midgets Minnehaha's. Minnehaha has a promiscuous little sister, Minnehoho. And a gay cousin, Minnie-Hair. I've never seen an Indian in the cupboard, but I've seen one coming out of the closet. One day my cell phone started smoking and the people standing around me thought I was sending a text message. My tribe has a website on the internet to protect the fishing rights of Native Americans. www.savethesalmon.net. When I was in college, I took a Native American studies class, and I was the only Native American in the class, and I got a C. I should have cheated off that little Asian girl. The teacher of my class was a white lady, and she wanted me to do a cultural presentation. So I built a bonfire and tied her up. I had a dream last night that I was rich and famous and I lived in a beautiful mansion. And when I woke up, I remembered that I'm broke and nobody knows who I am. And I live in a piece of crap single wide trailer. Never buy a dream catcher from the dollar store. I met this elderly lady at the bingo hall. She was like, "What's your name, fool?" I was like, "Vaughn, Eagle Bear." She was like, "You don't hear a name like that every day now, do you?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." I didn't have a bingo dauber. And she didn't have any teeth. She loved my last name, Eagle Bear. And she wanted an Indian name just like mine. So I called her Gummy Bear. I don't mean to be gross, but I had to take some Pepto-Bismol when I was at the casino playing craps. And I still rolled a number 2. I saw a bumper sticker on a septic tank truck that said, "Yesterday's Meals on Wheels." There was another one on the other side that said, "We're number 1 in the number 2 business." I think they should combine a porta potty with a teepee and call it a pee-pee. I donated some blood a couple weeks ago, and one of the nurses asked me if I was a full-blooded Indian. I said, "Not anymore." She was like, "How much Indian are you?" I said, 90%. She said, "What's the other 10%? I said, "Orange juice and cookies." My favorite red wine is Mad Dog 2020. And my favorite white wine is We Want a Casino Too. My name is Vaughn Eaglebear. Thank you very much.
Coming to the stage is a Lakota brother. That means he has a buffalo chip on his shoulder. Very funny guy. He's from Standing Rock, and I've seen his work. You're gonna love him. So let's welcome the reservation sensation, J.R. Redwater.
And we have these special individuals in my culture that are called Heyokas, and they're sacred clowns. And we don't have to take life so seriously, that it's okay to laugh and it's okay to joke around. And so these people were revered in our culture to that level. And so I always believe that, like I'm a modern day Heyoka, the stereotypes, I understand where that comes from. I understand that everybody believes that when I go on stage that I'm an alcoholic, or I'm a big drunk, or I don't have my life together. And so I make jokes about it. Well, my dad used to tell the street jokes, and he always had a very good sense of humor. But I would tell you, my mom takes the cake. She blurts. I got that from my mom because I blurt. I just say what I want and it comes out, and sometimes it gets you in trouble and sometimes it's hilarious. And she had breast cancer a few years back, and then she had one of her breasts removed. And when I went home to see her, and she's all, "Hey, JR, check out my scar." And I'm like, you know, and like, "Oh, it's just a scar." I'm like, "That's where your boob used to be," you know? So I have 4 older sisters, and I have 1 little brother, and my little brother passed away about a year and a half ago. And my brother was one of my biggest supporters, and now he's gone. So now I know he's watching, and I'll always remember where I come from. I'll always remember that I'm a leader for my people, and I'll always remember that I'm a Hunkpapa Lakota warrior, and I did serve this country. I was in the military for 4 years, and I did go to the Persian Gulf 3 times. So I have every right to talk about what I'm talking about right now.
Reservation in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from a reservation in South Dakota. Give it up for me. I made it off the res. That's a big deal, you know. That's like Gilligan making it off the island. I didn't even know I could leave the res. I was like, what? We can leave? I was pissed, man. You know, I used to stand on the reservation line looking out. And my family, they were like, "Hey, JR, get away from there. You're gonna get us in trouble." And I was like, "I'm waiting for the sacred Budweiser truck to arrive." Oh, man. Yeah, I have an Indian name. My Indian name is Wambli Ohitika. I know, it sounds like my dad just looked into a bowl of alphabet soup.
We shall call him Wambli Ohitika.
Says right here in the bowl. It actually means something, though. It means brave eagle, he who soars in the heavens. Yeah, I made that part up. All the white people were like, wow. All the Indian people were like, bullshit. I wish they would have named me something more like Maza Ska Wambli. That means rich ego. He who travels first class. Imagine me in first class. That ain't gonna happen, because I'm Indian and they drink up there. Flight attendant would be like, "Would you like a drink, Mr. Redwater?" You don't want to see that, lady. If I get drunk, there's gonna be some fighting up in this place. Who wants to go? All pissy. This is our land, way up in here. One of the big reasons why I'm happy to be here, because I'm a clean and sober Indian's over 6 years clean and sober. I didn't mean to quit. I had to. I was allergic to alcohol. It's true. Every time I drank it, I broke out in DUIs. Get out of the way, I'm having a breakout. And the cops pulled me over. They're like, we're gonna have to give you the breathalyzer test, Mr. Redwater. There's no way I'm gonna pass out. That's the first. And it turns out I was wrong. I got a 4.0 on that test. And I didn't even study. You don't think about alcohol because you don't think about it. Everybody always says all Indians ever like to do is drink. All right, I'll give you that one. But it makes perfect sense. You see, the white man introduced alcohol to the Indians so they could steal our land. And some people call this one of the worst genocides in history. But I like to call it one of the longest happy hours ever. What I say, seriously, man, what I say, only if us Indians had an honest bartender. Think about it, man, because he'd be like, excuse me, Chief, I gotta cut you off. You're losing your continent. But see, like the Asian man, the Indian man, we're missing that enzyme in our body that helps us deal with alcohol. Just like the white man is missing that enzyme in their body that helps them deal with Indian people. So I love to dance too. No rain dance though. Take that one and shove it. I went out to the club with these girls down in UNC, University of North Carolina. We went out to the club. And I'm from the country, man. South Dakota, I two-step. She was like, let's go dance. I'm like, sure. First thing we get on the dance floor, here's her. And she had her drink too. Here's where I was like, what's your name anyway? I was looking around, I seen all the other guys out there, they're like doing the same thing. Sorry, bro. Start getting into it too. Start looking mean facing. Should we be using protection or? I look over, I see a gay guy, winked at a gay guy, looking at me. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is J.R. Redwater.
Anyway, coming to the stage is a brother from the Navajo Nation. Is there any Navajos out there? I kind of knew it. I could tell. I'm psychic. I could feel it. You're Navajo. We've never met. Is there anybody in your tribe named Yazi? Of course, Navajos live next to the Hopi. And you know why the Hopis tie their headbands on the side? They got short arms. But, Our next performer, Navajo, Dene Nation, and he's been in clubs all over the country, all over the city. He's also a producer. He puts together these Indian comedy shows and everything. So let's welcome, a big warm welcome for a good friend of mine, Mark Yappy.
I was adopted at birth, and my birth mother actually found me when I was 25. She decided when it was my 25th birthday, obviously, she knew when I was born, she wrote to me. I was working at for the DMV of all places. I used to give the driving test, so I was that pissed off guy giving the test at DMV. And she found me, and we connected, and the next thing I know, I found out I'm part Navajo. It's really weird because when I was growing up, my mom Lucy who raised me. Her little warning, like, hey, if you don't behave, we're going to give you back to the Indians. And all these years, turns out she wasn't lying. My dad's Jewish, and my mom is first-generation Mexican-American. A lot of confusion growing up, you know. So I grew up with Mexicans and Jews. It was awesome. It was bar mitzvahs and bar fights. Yarmulke and braids. There you go. Been married 20 years, yeah. Still married. Neither one of us wants custody of the kids. It was really powerful when I had my daughters, you know, and my wife, you know, she did all the work. But, you know, it's just to have that connection. It's really touches people, too. People find out you're adopted. I've met so many, especially Native folks who were raised, you know, just adopted out. This is back before the Indian Child Welfare Act laws that could restrict people, and you have to sign, like, your life away. Now, if you're going to let a child be adopted outside of the tribe, it's a very difficult process, and it's a good thing, you know, because the numbers, we don't have that many natives. But, you know, I didn't know anything different. To me, it was all normal. You know, to my grandmother, my Jewish grandmother, I call her Bubby, you know, go there and have lox and bagels, and then in the afternoon we're over eating, you know, tamales or whatever, you know, beans and rice. And it was just, I don't know, it was just normal. It was kind of nice to have that. It was a good balance. I mean, I wish I could have known a little bit more about my native roots. You know, they had me dressed up as a little cowboy all the time. That was, you know, I look back now, I was like the worst Native American cross-dresser ever.
Natives in the house, we are gonna party like it's 1491. Let's go, people. All right, hey, give it up for me, Mexican, Irish, Navajo, Mexaho. Or as I'm known on racial surveys, other. We got any other others? Any other Mexahos? Huh? How about Aztec Navajos? Any Azhos? Do we have any hoes here tonight? Where are the hoes? I did that line in San Francisco. 8 Asian folks jumped up in the club. Ho, family! Eight ho, here for the show. Get up for Navajos, largest nation, 200,000 strong. Come on, make some noise. Yep. 200,000 Navajos, 8 last names. You ever looked at a Navajo phone book? You're on page 89, you're still on the begays. Yeah, drive through the res sometime, listen to a high school basketball game. Begay to Sosi, Sosi to Begay to Yazi, Yazi back to Begay, blocked by Begay. I did not grow up on the reservation. I never met my birth father. Runs from responsibility. Adopted at birth by a Jewish father and a Mexican mother. I'm an adopt-a-ho. Yeah, that's right. Jewish father, Navajo son. That makes me a bargain hunter-gatherer. And it's tradition in the Jewish religion. The males, you got to get the circumcision, or as we call it at Tribal Health, the tomahawk chop. People won't know if I'm offended. Remember they used to do that nonsense at the Braves games, that tomahawk chop bullshit? I'm like, Mark, you offended by that? I'm like, I don't care. As long as you know my native folks doing the wave when you lose in an Indian casino. Didn't even find out it was Navajo till I was 25. 25. All those years growing up playing Cowboys and Indians, I was suiting up for the wrong team. Oh, man, it's true, though. I'm actually illegal. You know, you cannot adopt an Indian child from their tribe. They passed that law to protect our people from Angelina Jolie. And you know, you don't even have to be a full blood. You be quarter, A6. People think you're even part native. You got mystical powers. Yeah. This lady asked me after a show, she goes, Mark, is it true you Navajos in your travels, you're guided by outer voices? Yeah, it's called an OnStar navigation system. Gee, do a lot of casinos. I'm the only Indian still losing money in casinos. I suck. We were playing blackjack the other day at a casino out in North Dakota. They had this little Vietnamese blackjack dealer. Her name was Soon You Lose. Now they're featured in the casinos. You see these celebrity slot machines. You seen these? I've seen a Jeff Foxworthy slot machine. They got a Clint Eastwood slot machine. They need a Dr. Phil slot machine. Every time you lose, you'll be like, what were you thinking? If we're gonna have celebrity-themed slot machines, we need native-themed slot machines. I want to go into Indian casino, see a video poker machine, Custer's Last Hand. Payback's a bitch. Get back here, we're not even yet. What we need, though, at every Indian casino are native hypnotists. You should walk in every Indian casino and be like, white people, you're getting very sleepy, very sleepy. You will give back all of the land. At our blackjack tables, you will split threes against a dealer's 10. And you will stop claiming that your grandmother is a Cherokee Indian princess. Hey, it is actually great to be back here in northern Mexico, or as the rest of the country calls it, Los Angeles. Yeah, LA now stands for lacking Anglos. They got a proposal now in Congress. They want to build a 2,000-mile-long wall between the U.S. and Mexico, 20 feet high. What? You build a 20-foot-high wall between the U.S. and Mexico, Mexico will become the largest producer of 21-foot extension ladders. And pole vaulting will be the new national sport. You know, a 20-foot wall ain't gonna stop shit. 3,000 miles of shark-infested waters and a leaky boat didn't stop the Pilgrims. Or as I like to call it, the worst surprise costume party ever. Did you hear about this one? The Supreme Court ruled that the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, can adopt a highway for litter removal. That would be one scary road to get caught drinking and driving. Cop pulls you out of your car and I go, geez, officer, I don't know what happened back there. I was just driving along. I hit a big white cone. That's it. That's what makes us great is diversity. Look at our television networks now. Almost every group has their own network. Black folks have BET. Shoppers have QVC. Mexican, Irish, Navajos, we've got Court TV. It's time for all Native American television network. We're going to call that TPTV. We have shows like Survivor Reservation, Wheel of Misfortune, Whose Land Is It Anyway? I'm Mark Yab. You guys have been great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Coming to the stage right now, he's probably the smartest guy in the group. He's a graduate from Stanford. Obviously a show-off, and he's an Ojibwe. The only way, the true way, the one way, our way, his way. And his biggest credit right now, he just told me he just became a new daddy. So welcome from Wisconsin, my buddy, Jim Rule.
My tribe is Chippewa, or Ojibwe is actually, it's more well known as Chippewa, but it's actually Ojibwe. And my reservation's up in Michigan. I grew up in a pretty big family. I have one brother and 5 sisters. You know, when we get together around the table, we made us all laugh a lot at like dinner table. My older brother, like 6 years, so I just worshiped him. And one time he told me to come in the house and tell my parents that he'd been hit by a car and he was gonna lay in the street. And I did it because I'm an idiot. My parents are mixed. My mom is native and my dad is white. He doesn't even know what tribe I am, to be honest with you. He's like, oh, I think you're the Chippendales? No, Chippewa, Dad, Chippewa. And it is a big deal that we don't really get our voice out in the media. You know, you don't hear us talking. We don't get interviewed. We have no big name stars that people have any idea of, like individual personalities, you know. Graham Greene and Adam Beach, nobody really knows anything about them. You know, there's one native guy on the PGA Tour, Nota Begay. Again, nobody knows anything about them outside our community. Either one is problematic. Native American just could mean you were born here. You know, really, that's what the term native means, you were born. And same thing with Indians. Obviously, there's us and the ones over in India. So I like Indian almost better just because there's less syllables and I'm lazy. So, and I was with my friend Patty, and we're both like checking out the crowd, you know, and I like, hey, that dude looks like George Carlin. I was like, holy crap, that is George Carlin. And the both of us kind of freaked out, you know. It's like a nerd having Einstein show up at one of your lectures. It was just like, holy crap, our idol from growing up is here. And afterwards, he came up to both of us, and each of us, he just was like really cool. He's like, hey, man, you're really funny. I love the Indian stuff. You know, stick with it, and you're going to do great. And he was just so gracious and cool. You know, you talk to people outside of that, or when I get done with the show, people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know you guys were just, that was weird to see you laughing, making us laugh. And you were actually funny. You're Native American, and you were actually funny.
Bonjour. How's everybody doing? I need some sleep. I just became a daddy. Well, thank you. You don't have to clap. It was an accident. No, it was on purpose. She's a baby on purpose. People even said, are you sure she's yours? I'm like, heck yeah, she's mine. It's the only woman I slept with around that time, so. I don't want her growing up with that label accident. Nobody wants that. It doesn't make any sense either if you think about it. The process of making a baby involves too much repetitive motion. You can't accidentally churn butter, right? Oh man, look what I done did here. I did not mean to make all this butter. This is a lot of responsibility, all this butter. Well, by the way, our jokes were here first. Yeah, don't think about it too much, just suck on it. No. So my grandmother used to tell me, she said, before the white man came, he made a funny face. And then he came. I have no idea what she was talking about. So I'm from Milwaukee originally, grew up there. Growing up native is not easy. Come from a big family. My parents sent us all, you know, to pilgrim camp. That was good. We learned how to burn witches, and we had buckles on our shoes. That was fun. But we always stood out from the crowd because there weren't that many natives in our part of town. In school, even, it would become a big deal. In school, like the holidays, you know, you'd have dress up, and they'd have the Thanksgiving, they'd have the kids. All right, some of you kids are going to dress up as pilgrims, and well, we have an Indian, so Jim, you just do your thing, you know. I'm not going to judge, so anyway, anytime it might come up, it did, you know. We'd have storytelling time. The teacher's like, all right, everyone sit Indian style. You know, the kids are like, oh, look at Jim's style there. So I put my legs behind my head. Come on, everybody, let's go. It's Indian style. Teacher would get all pissed off. Hey, that's not Indian style. Hey, who's the Indian here? My grandma taught me this. Oh. We've been through a lot, man. Even today, my friends give me a hard time. They want to go hunting in the fall, they bring me along as their tracker. Like, dude, I grew up right next door to you. I grew up in the city, man. I'm more of a stalker, you know? Bitch, go that away. Of course, Milwaukee is known for drinking. So I don't feel bad when people say Indians drink. Well, I know everybody does from Milwaukee. We have a powwow back there. It's a sobriety powwow, but because it's Milwaukee, they still serve beer. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, well, why do you call that a sobriety powwow? And they even call it a celebration of sobriety. They're doing shots to celebrate sobriety. Like, maybe we should pick another social problem to celebrate, you know? Like crystal meth, our teeth are not up to the challenge. Yay. Let's go to that powwow. Maybe another one. Knowing who your dad is. That's a good powwow. Yeah. I know who he is. I met him that one time, remember? Yeah, they pointed him out to me. I think it was that guy. We got a lot to celebrate, man. We got shoes from Nike. I don't know why, but we did. Why people were like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, I have no idea. They got us shoes. I didn't know what the hell it was. I got some emails, texts from people saying, hey, Nike made us some shoes. I'm like, what the hell is that about? Was that like a moccasin with the wheel in the heel? What a sneak up song. Hey, not a problem. Your tribe is being relocated. Not a problem this time. No, in fact, they found out they made these shoes for us, and the deal is they're wider than the regular shoe. Because native people have wide feet. I didn't even know that. That was news to me, man. I don't even know how they figured that out. They just had like a control group with a bunch of Indians and a bunch of non-natives, and they measured the feet, and like, they got wide feet. They need shoes. That's all we need are new stereotypes, you know? We have enough old ones. We have enough out there from all those movies and the Westerns and everything. That's where a lot of them came from. That's why I'm glad I'm in Hollywood now. I can maybe do something about that. But you got to start somewhere, right? I'm trying to do commercials. My agent's trying to get me a shampoo commercial. I think that'd be fun. Never see a native doing that. If you have a dry, flaky scalp, just throw it away. Why would you want to hold on to that? That's just creepy. Nowadays, they make an Indian movie. They actually go out and they tell you this is going to be accurate. It's going to be a big deal. They hire real Indian actors or Lou Diamond Phillips, you know? Whichever's available. I saw a show called Into the West. That's how they were advertising it. This is a good show. It was a portrayal of accuracy. And I was like, man, I might learn something watching this thing. So I saw a commercial on. They had an Indian guy, and they had no shirt on. He was just stretched like that, like we used to do, I guess. Looking up. Well, we didn't have TVs back then. What else are you going to do? I don't understand that. But the thing that really caught me was that guy was ripped. He had a tight six-pack and pecs. I thought, man, as a people, we've let ourselves go. That's how it used to be, huh? We need to do more crunches or something. Man, we used to look good, you know, like, yeah. Little buckskin, like, whoa, what do I have to get to that? Showing off. Show that in a movie. Show us around the campfire just doing crunches in the Old West. Yeah. Gonna get the white man tomorrow, gonna headbutt his ass. Back to Europe. Movies that always have freaked me out, though, are the scary movies. They're supposed to be scary because something was built on an Indian burial ground. Like, all right, that's kind of scary, I guess. And you watch the whole movie all the way through, and I watch, I'm like, hey, where are all the Indian ghosts? They get relocated by the white ghost? What happened here? Boo, boo. I'm sorry you can't boo here. You got to go somewhere else. What? Even in the afterlife. I like some of the Indian movies out there, though. Thunderheart, that's a pretty good Indian movie. All right? Get to see a res cop in a movie, played by Graham Greene. He's all cool. Oh, geez, you want to make a trade? Well, that's a rock. These are Ray-Bans. No way. A lot of you white people watched that. You had no idea he was a res cop because he didn't have a mustache. Yeah. A lot of Indians, we don't have a lot of body hair. I'm mixed blood, so I got some. It's like patchy. Can't grow a beard or nothing, man. I tried to grow a goatee once. It just looked like a smiling nutsack. Hey, Miigwech, thank you all very much.
Our next performer is a good friend of mine. No, a really, really good buddy of mine. I never get tired of bringing him on stage, really. We came up together. We started out in Encino. We performed at the old Steak and Slut. It was a great club. Then we played in San Francisco at the old Purple Canker Sore back in the 70s. Great clubs, you know, just on our way up. And great writer, performer, and a dear brother, Larry Omaha.
I grew up on the plains of Nebraska. I grew up in the city of Omaha, Nebraska, which is where the name Omaha comes from. It means flat water. I prefer my Indian name, which is Sleeps in the River, because I was a bedwetter. On my mother's side, Yaqui Indian. My father's Zapotec Mexican. He was born in Mexico. Zapotec Indian. And there were 20 of us living in a house, a two-story house. One of the worst, my earliest memories was being bathed in this laundry tub every week in the middle of the kitchen and everybody watching and making fun of me. Our backyard was a city dump.
We didn't play Cowboys and Indians, we played Indians and Indians. We still lost.
I moved to Los Angeles and was determined to become a comedian in 1980. Walked into the Comedy Store parking lot. He embraced me immediately, and it was very cool. I go, this is Charlie Hill, man. I've seen him on The Tonight Show. I saw him on the Richard Pryor Show, and he's treating me like a brother, and we've been brothers ever since. To be on this show with Nothing But Natives is really something that Charlie and I have talked about for years.
Historically, I've always done a clean act because I want to be able to do it in front of my kids. And I want them to be proud of me. If my daughters are proud of me, nothing else matters. That happens all the time. It happened a couple of days ago. As I'm walking up to the club, they go, hey, here comes Chief. You know, and they still think that's cool to say that. You know, they don't understand how, you know, Chief is a very respected and it's an earned position. And so right there, I'm finding myself giving them an education, you know. It still happens all the time. The average American, you know, doesn't educate themselves about anything. They're struggling to stay alive. They're struggling to make a paycheck. Maybe they don't have time. Thank you very much. Oh, my great-great-grandmother was the daughter of a Yaqui chief, Standing Deer. My great-great-grandfather was the son of Zapotec leader, Benito Juarez, and because of that mixture of cultures, that intermingling of indigenous bloodlines, I stand here tonight looking like Jackie Chan. Everywhere I go, I get mistaken for belonging to another cultural group. When I was born, my dad said, holy crap, we had a Korean. Everywhere I go in Tokyo, they thought I was Japanese, talking to me in Japanese. One thing I did understand, they were bragging their country was becoming Americanized. I said, what are you talking about? No one here even speaks Spanish. Everywhere I go in Alaska, they treated me like family, as if I was a long-lost brother. And after looking around, I understood. I am pretty sure Eskimos are just freeze-dried Navajos. Tell you, man. They have gangster rapper Eskimos, man. I met the real Ice Cube. Things I have to do. I did a show at UCLA. Professor came up, said he could determine my ancestry by the structure of my cheekbones. That's embarrassing when guys look back there. Freaks everywhere, man. But I'm happy to be alive because childhood wasn't easy. Yeah, we didn't have anything, man. All our toys were donated, defective toys. I had a Scrabble game with no vowels. How many points for g-g-g? Even my model cars were up on blocks. Roaches would leave our house pissed off. I hated Halloween. Most kids love Halloween, dress up as Mickey Mouse, Spider-Man, Batman. My father would dress me up as an immigration officer. Take me trick-or-treating in the Mexican neighborhood. 5 years, I got no candy. Went around the neighborhood banging on doors. I know you're in there. My earliest memory, I was about 3 or 4, and my mother's giving me a bath. I'm standing in the tub, and I start crying because I'm scared what's happening. I'm getting my first stiffy. My mom was cool. She just hung a washcloth on it. Big washcloth. Beach towel. My story. I tell you, man, things we had to deal with. We made up games like tag, you got smallpox. My Caucasian buddies complained that they came from a broken home. I said, hey, I came from a torn tent. They say, yeah, Larry, but our families were dysfunctional. I said, hey, I was breastfed by my sister. Yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. My grandmother named me, sleeps in the river. Yeah, I was a bedwetter. They say bedwetters are very deep, deep sleepers, and that's true, because I almost drowned. They tried everything to cure it. Withholding liquids, that didn't work. Keeping me real warm, that didn't work. Electric shock therapy, that just heated up the pee. Crap I gotta deal with, man. But I'm divorced and single now, and my last marriage, I don't want to say she slept around. She was loose, but her name was Dances with Everyone. But the women, if you have a good woman, hold on to her, because the ones I'm meeting are freaks. Oh, yeah. This woman called me up. She goes, Larry, tonight at 3 in the morning, I want you to break into my house, sneak into my bedroom, tie me up, and do whatever you want. That's freaky, huh? So I broke into her house, snuck into her bedroom, tied her up, and stole her furniture. I discovered, don't stay away from the internet. Yeah, a woman emailed me her picture, the beautiful Susie Soto. She showed up, Quasimoto. I found out the best place to meet women is in church. In church, yeah, because women who go to church a lot, sin a lot. Oh, yeah. And I watched that woman who stays in the confession for a long, long time. And that's the one I follow home. I'll meet a woman, we go to a club, I start dancing, it begins raining, she's pissed. I was dating a Muslim woman, and during sex she would cover my face in a scarf. I go, is that some kind of religious thing? She goes, no, you're just ugly. I was dating a Swedish model. She was gorgeous, smoking hot, but I couldn't get to first base. On the 4th date, she goes, Larry, tonight's your lucky night. Tonight we're going all the way. We're gonna do everything, but only if you make that noise that your people make. What noise? She says, woo, 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 woo. I go, oh, you're a racist, low-life wench. I'm gonna do it this one time. Freaks everywhere, man. And if there's any young guys out there in a new relationship, let me give you a little advice, because I've made a lot of mistakes. Guys, if you want your relationship to be successful, you have to pay attention to the details, right, ladies? Yes, the detail. I didn't, and it cost me. One night she turns to me and she says, Larry, it's over. I said, well, I'm glad you're being honest. Now I can be honest and tell you that I think you're a skank bitch hoe. She says, no, Larry, the movie, it's over. I'm Larry Omar. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my brothers. Thank you guys for coming out.
And I grew up in the Oneida Indian Reservation in Wisconsin. But my wife is rooted and steeped in tradition, and my kids all know their language. I just remember I gave my father-in-law 2 horses and a blender, and that's how I got my wife. I got a lot of material in the early days from the Lone Ranger and Tonto. We grew up on it. One thing I do remember about it was when we'd watch it, my mom and dad would say, that guy's a real Indian, meaning Jay Silverheels. When Jay Silverheels came around, there was no movement, there were no acting places, and but he was reduced to going, Kimosabe. And the Lone Ranger would always send him into a bar, and like all Indians, he'd go into a white redneck bar in full regalia and get his ass kicked. But he called, Tonto was the word Tonto, it means stupid or fool, and he called the Ranger Kimosabe, which it means he doesn't know. So he doesn't know and stupid, rode the plains for years. I think stand-up comedy, too, is one of the last bastions of freedom of speech, and very few people are using it just to really say things. Richard Pryor I met in 1976, and I remember seeing him on stage, and I thought, oh, wow, Richard Pryor. A couple weeks before that, I see Red Fox on stage, and he liked my act, and he's making a big deal about it, but I'm embarrassed because I'm only been in Hollywood 4 months, and I'm just green. The next day, he says, here's my number. You call me. So I call him up, and he didn't remember who I was. So when I met Pryor, he gives me his phone number, and I thought, oh, here we go again. But Richard, he called me up, and he took me to the movies. He says, you talk to these white people like they're dogs. We got to get together, motherfucker. And I could tell he's a family man. You know, he brought up his mother. And it's like, wow. And every time I saw him, he had time for me, and he put me on his show, and that's how I got my start. And I was 26 years old, and I was thrilled. And I remember calling up my mom. He said, Mom, I'm finally going to be on TV. I'm going to be on the Richard Pryor show. And there was a pause, and she goes, ain't that a shame what happened to Elvis? And I couldn't believe it. It was like when he thought I was funny and I was real green, I thought that's like Mickey Mantle telling you got a nice swing. So that's what it is, and it's good when I see these other guys and Larry, we talk about our experiences, because we have that thing all the time that only we experience.
Thank you. It's been a great evening here and everything. And white folks, you were here 2 hours, not one incident. I'm so proud of you people. Because everywhere you go, lots of white people, there's always trouble. It got a little quiet in here, didn't it? Oh. And I'm just kidding. You're not white. You're all pink like raw hot dogs. You know? The white folks, you wouldn't even be here wasn't for Indian people. There wouldn't even be in America wasn't for us. You know, it'd still be Europe Junior. And you came to this country and we taught you how to survive. We taught you about democracy. We taught you how to fight the British so you could be free. Hide behind the trees. So come to us now. We can fix this country, all the problems it has. We can fix it because we have the owner's manual. Everything you're going through now, we've survived it already. We have the economy. What economy, you know? The war on terrorism. Hell, we've been fighting terrorism since 1492. We've only had metal detectors on Plymouth Rock, that shit would have been nipped right in the bud. But we can still heal. It's time to heal. The power of the Spirit heals anything that you have. We are living proof that you cannot extinguish the human spirit. You know, the mightiest nation in the world. Spirit is stronger than war. Spirit is stronger than nuclear energy, stronger than anything. Just align yourself with the Spirit. We did, you know. Mightiest nation in the world tried to get rid of us, anglicize us, Christianize us, Americanize us. But we're like that little Energizer bunny. We just keep going and going and going. And I think that Energizer bunny must be Indian because he's got that little hand drum he uses all the time, you know? So next time you have a powwow, get the Energizer bunny to lead the grand entry. Then after a couple of rounds, we can get together and eat him because we never waste anything. Every time you go to a powwow, there's always some rainbow chick with the tie-dye, you know, and the aim buttons dancing around like this somewhere. And we tolerate them because they always got the best grass, you know. So, I'll tell you this, 5 years of college doing that. I went to college 5.5 years, folks, and I became a sophomore. I'll tell you, those years are really meaningful to me. You know how bad I did? I was probably the only Indian in history ever to flunk archery. I'll tell you, that's really embarrassing. Power of the Spirit, that's what will conquer everything. Martin Luther King came. He didn't fire a shot. He's a peaceful man. He started the Civil Rights Movement. He got it all going. He was aligned with the Spirit, the Truth Force. And he learned from studying Gandhi. And Gandhi got all the colonizers out of his country. He fasted. He was aligned with the truth. Gandhi wore a sheet. He weighed 90 pounds. He spoke real softly. And if you got real close to him, he went, I am so hungry. Jesus Christ, am I hungry. So we were in college. We thought we'd go on these marches and get rid of the war. One time my roommate came in, you know, and he goes, "Hey, Charlie, man, we're not going to take Nixon's big trip no more, man. We're going to take some acid, man." I said, "Well, if I take it, do I got to talk like that too?" You know? "Oh, it's in the Bible, man. Acid is in heaven." You know, so I'm 18. I'm a stupid freshman. I take the acid. You know. Half an hour later, I'm going, "I can hear paint." And for years after that, I was paranoid. I'm glad that wore off tonight. Nothing would have been worse than a paranoid comedian. "What are you laughing at?" You know. So the acid's coming on, and I'm getting too analytical. And I'm thinking, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck? Given the density of the wood and the intent of the woodchuck, if he could chuck, you know. You get too analytical, you cannot have any fun. And I'm thinking, am I having fun, or do I think I'm having fun? What do I mean by fun? What do I mean by what do I mean? So I get inside of my vehicle and I'm driving down the street and I see myself in another vehicle going the other way. And, "Wait for me." That's what we meant by finding ourselves. You know, so my generation, we all changed, man. We went from acid to antacid. Yeah. But I did love college. I really wanted to come out here, but I didn't. You know, I went to University of Wisconsin. I wanted to go to UCLA, University of Caucasians, Lost Among Asians, Indian Studies program. Because I wanted to study acting. I did in Wisconsin. I did. I took theater, voice, movement, so I could come to Hollywood auditions one day and go, "Me wait by horses, white man, I remember I auditioned for Dances with Wolves. Everybody in my family was in that. All my friends, all my buddies, not me. I got carried away to audition. You know, I never been in the movie where we were the good guys. So I had a blue coat and a headlock, and I'm choking them, and I'm dragging them, and I'm choking them. Director's going, "Cut," and I'm choking them, and I'm dragging them. "Cut." And I said, "I don't care what the script says. This one's mine, damn it." He wasn't even in the movie. I had a flashback, you know. And, you know, I went and saw a couple years ago Brokeback Mountain, you know, and I'm secure at myself, you know. My daughter, my grown-up daughter, she's a psychology major. She got a degree in that, and she's always trying to figure out Dad. You know. So we're watching Brokeback Mountain, and no, honey, I don't want a hot dog. I just want to. And I didn't mind the movie, but what I didn't like, these guys are not cowboy stars. They should have made that movie back in 1940 with John Wayne and Walter Brennan, you know? Yeah, be getting dark soon. I'm gonna go over there and lay down a while. And, well, Stumpy, why don't you get some of that wagon wheel grease and come on over to my tent? I'd like to see John Wayne come back just for about a minute, just to hear him say the name Osama bin Laden, and then that's it. That's all. That's all. They still can't find the guy. You know, he's 6'9", walking around, he's limping. Oh, we cannot find him. You know, my theory is I think he shaved his beard and he's working at some Indian casino. You know, he's at the roulette table. You know, I'm Cherokee. So it is all about healing. That's what we got to do. Healing, the power of the Spirit and love. It's not just a emotion. It's a power, man. You know, and our true nature is love. When we thought with our hearts, not with our minds. And the proof of that is if you're ever grieving, hold up a little baby, and that just helps you with the pain. And you see a little baby, you don't even know who the baby is, what family, but you gravitate toward that baby. Oh, I love you. Oh, you're drooling. Can I hold you? Because we lock in with our hearts. And then we forget about that because maybe 40 years later, it didn't work out for this baby. And he's homeless and he's standing out in front of a 7-Eleven, and we don't go, oh, you're cute, you're drooling. Can I pick you up? Oh. And we had Navajos on stage tonight. We had different tribal people on. I thought that was just beautiful. There's some comedians we didn't get to have. We tried to get Rodney Dangerfoot, but he was booked, you know. Rich Little Bear, Bob Hope, you know. We got to use more entertainers in these Indian casinos. I think it's a disgrace we're not working there on a regular basis, you know. And besides the comedians, we got rappers. You know, you heard of Tupac Shakur. We got an Indian rapper, Six Pack for sure. Hire these people. Brown Jovi, you know, we're all there, man. They just want us to have casinos either. They're going, how can you have casinos? How can you have money and be spiritual? They never asked the Pope that question. You know? Power of the Spirit, too, you know. That's African Americans. They're living proof, too. You can't extinguish the human spirit. And they brought us the blues. They taught us, you know. It's just like our stuff. You know, I met a guy before the show. He's really proud of his heritage. He says, Charlie, you know, my great-great-grandfather was African American and Native American. I'm thinking, that poor bastard, they not only stole his land, they made him work on it for free. You know? Thank you very much, folks. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.